Included with the Sauer instrument is a basic yet powerful arpeggiator. For those that never worked with an arpeggiator, this function, in a nutshell, allows you to play a chord into the instrument. The arpeggiator then takes the notes played and will create a melodic line automatically based on the notes of the chord and other parameters set in the arpeggiator. Some host applications may have such a function that you can apply to the synth as well. And to give a better visual representation of an arpeggiator, I'll use FL Studio and its arpeggiation function to show on screen what actually happens when using such a tool. Here I have a simple chord entered on my track. Once I play the arpeggiator, you can see how the notes from the chord are split up into a melodic line using the notes from the chord. Most arpeggiators allow you to set the note's length, and this commonly relates to the speed of the arpeggiator. You can also set the range of the notes, which determines across how many octaves the notes will be played. You can also control the direction of the notes that are played for each arpeggiator cycle. So, for example, if you set the mode to up, the first note played will be the bass note of the chord, and moving upwards through the notes in the chord. Once all the notes have been played, then the arpeggiator will cycle back to the first note and continue through the notes again in a looping fashion. The down mode, as you might have already guessed, works in the opposite manner. The melodic lines created by the arpeggiator will start at the top note of the chord and play downwards again in a looping fashion. The up-down mode will start at the bass note and move upwards till it reaches the top of the upmost note in the chord, at which point it will play the same notes again, however moving downwards. Once reaching the bass note again, reverses and starts moving upwards. The random mode is just that. It will randomly play the notes that are present in the chord. As I mentioned just a few seconds ago, the arpeggiator will allow you to set the note length for each note being played. This will translate into the speed of the arpeggiator, of course in relevance to your host tempo. So you only need to tell it the note's length and the instrument will calculate the rest. Larger notes create slower arpeggiated lines, while shorter notes, of course, create faster ones. Lastly, the range knob allows you to select whether or not you want the range of the notes played from the arpeggiator to be 1, 2, 3, or 4 octaves. The range size you choose is of course up to you and the sound you are aiming for, but some suggestions is that if you are, for example, creating some sort of bass line, then you may want to limit the range to 1. But if you are trying to create some melodies with some notes a little higher up the keys, then you may want to set this to 2 or 3 octaves. And that concludes our look at Sauer's Arpeggiator. In the next and final video, we will be looking at working with some of the events and automation controls.